was brought up, we didn't talk about mental health. It wasn't a thing. You didn't talk about it. You prayed about it. And if there was an issue, you were brought to the church and prayed. Got put on the prayer request list. Okay. And my mother suffered with depression and didn't seek out help, didn't understand it, until she was in her 50s. Only a few years before she passed away in a car accident. The last few years of my mother's life were her best years. Recognizing depression, being on medication for depression, and accepting she had a problem. However, for me, it was too late. By the time I was 16, I was self-medicating. I was drinking. Had a baby at 17. And when I was 16, before I got pregnant, I was having some issues and was sent away. And at that time, I was diagnosed with bipolar depression, which my mother did not agree with. She didn't accept. There was no way that there was anything wrong, because she felt if something was wrong, then it was her fault, that she did something wrong to make me this way. And that's not the case. Despite my mother's depression, she was a good mom. And she was always there, and my dad was always out to sea, and my stepdad, which is my daddy, my dad, didn't really have much to do with me, and that caused some issues and abandonment issues and insecurities. But so at that time, bipolar, hell no, not my child. So I started self-medicating once I was at that age, and drinking. And then after I had my daughter and that relationship with her dad failed, mainly because we were just too young, but also I was self-medicating and I was doing stupid stuff. Throughout my teenage years and into my 20s, I did stupid shit. I was a hot mess. I drank uncontrollably and didn't give a shit. I just didn't. I was selfish and didn't care, and that's what self-medicating is. When I met my ex-husband, I stopped drinking because it was an issue for him, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It really was. I was in a bad situation with drinking, and it had to stop. So I stopped drinking, and at that time I realized, holy shit, I can't deal with this shit, right? I can't deal with it. Not without something. So I, got a therapist, whatnot, got on medication. But at that time, I felt like I was only doing it because he wasn't happy with me, And then when he realized that, well, shit, she's on medication, so I'm the problem, it became even a bigger problem. I think some people think that just because someone's on medication, that they don't have a right to have feelings, or if they lash out or snap, that they must be off their medication. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. And that is an insult, and it's hurtful. If someone trusts you enough to say, look, here's what I've gone through in life, and here's how I feel, these are my triggers, and don't bring this up in a heated argument, or don't say this to hurt me, then don't do that to that person. They're trusting you. we're normal people despite mental illness. I've never understood why it's, oh my God, you know, especially bipolar. Bipolar is so that it's not a generalized thing. Bipolar's multiple things. There's different types of bipolar, okay? And people can, I hate it. I hate it with a passion when someone that doesn't have a mental illness, oh, I'm feeling so bipolar today. No, bitch, you're not. You have no idea how bad of an insult that is. It's become this thing of people just say it and not respecting the struggle of people that really do go through that. And some people that have bipolar are manic and rage out. And some people like myself, you know, it is depression, okay? When I have bipolar episodes, I shut down and I get depressed. However, I also have anxiety and OCD on top of that. So what makes me, if I rage out and I lash out and I'm pissed off and I'm just, that is a panic attack. That has nothing to do with my bipolar. That's a panic attack. That's my OCD and my anxiety just completely colliding and me not knowing how to, you know, fix the situation or understand or process the situation, and shit gets crazy. Ask anyone that has anxiety. Ask anyone that has anxiety if that happens. Guarantee you, yes. Maybe to different extremes, but it happens. For example, my daughter yesterday had to go get a shot for school. She is crazy having anxiety because she's scared to death of needles. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And that fear turned into anger and her lashing out on me. And I understood it. I didn't take offense to it. She wasn't being disrespectful. She was just snappy with me. And I understood because it's anxiety. Sure, in a, I call it manic anxiety episode like that, you really can't. You just, you know, you get so tied up and your brain is just, tires are frying and burning and smoking, and you're just, you know, your gerbils, as I call them, are going crazy. So, I don't know. I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there about mental illness, but above all that, everyone that has a mental illness or has issues with their mental health, it is different for everyone. It's not just a pinpoint thing of, oh, well, she's bipolar, so she will act this way. No, that's not how this works. It's multiple things on top of multiple things, and everyone is different. Everyone reacts different, and that's that. But I think my biggest thing is that when someone that has a mental illness is on medication and going to therapy and doing all the things that they're trying to do in life to feel better and be a better person, to throw in their face that you must be off your medication because you're being mean right now. Especially if that person's reacting. You can't push a person and push a person and push a person, and then when them react, go, oh, well, God, you're being mean. Well, no shit. You pushed me to a point of no return. I don't have my mental illness all figured out. I wish I did. I wish I did. And I wish I didn't have triggers. I wish I didn't have to warn people. I wish I didn't have to say, hey, I have PTSD and these are my triggers. Please don't use them against me. But that's my life. And if I get close enough to you, or someone you know that deals with these things get close enough to you to trust you to explain those things, don't throw them in their face, ever. You're a bad person if you do that to people. You're a bad person if someone tells you that, hey, I have a mental illness, and you treat them differently. That's like someone telling you that they have cancer and you turning your back on them. We can't help who we are. People can't help who they are. And if they're strong enough and trust you enough to tell you what's going on in their life, be thankful. I used to say that it's going to take a mighty good person to come into my life that I can 100% trust and have a relationship with. And some people think that that's not fair. Well, I don't want to deal with your bipolar. I don't want to, deal with your anxiety and OCD. I don't want to deal with your PTSD. Well, then you're not the person for me, right? People come in and, they say, oh, well, you shouldn't bring baggage from your past relationships. You go get your ass beat a few times, okay? By someone that you love and trust. You get torn down with words by someone you love and trust. And then try to step into another relationship without bringing that with you. Anyway, if you know someone in your life that has dealt with these things, whether domestic violence, abuse in any kind of way, has PTSD, whether it be relationship or, because that's another thing that's misunderstood. A lot of times people hear PTSD, they think it's, for vets or whatever, military. It's not. PTSD comes from post-traumatic stress. Okay? Anything that's caused you stress in life, you'll have PTSD. You could potentially have PTSD from it. Be kind to people. If someone trusts you enough, don't break that trust. Like my last video, there's a lot of good resources out there for mental health, and I'll link some of those below. I don't know them off the top of my head, like the domestic violence one, but I will link some, and go leave a kind word for someone today. You never know what someone's going through. I have to remind myself to do that as well. No one's perfect. No one's perfect. But just be nice. Especially if someone's saying, hey, I have these issues and I prefer you not to, say certain things to me. And if you don't want to cater to that, then you don't deserve to be in my life. At all. I try very hard not to use my mental illness as a crutch or an excuse. I'm an asshole, regardless of mental health issues. I'm an asshole. Well, I can be an asshole. I try not to be. I'm a smart ass for sure, but it has nothing to do with mental illness. So, just who I am. Anyway, I hope this isn't too jumbled. It is something that's very passionate, to me, and means a lot to me. And I'm sure I'll talk more on it. But as I end all my videos, good, bad, sad, funny, I hope everybody's having a good day, making good choices. Don't be an asshole. Mind your business. And don't send dick pics, especially to minors.